Let's Queer Politics. LGBTQ plus advocacy groups offer training to help candidates win elections. LGBTQ plus people who are current or future political candidates, along with their staff, are learning how to run a winning campaign in Orlando this weekend. The 4-day training will be put on by 3 LGBTQ plus advocacy groups: the LGBTQ plus Victory Institute, Equality Florida, and SAVE. It will focus on giving LGBTQ plus political candidates, campaign staff, and community leaders the skills they need to run for office in Florida and win. Orlando Commissioner Patty Sheehan is the first openly gay elected official in Central Florida. She'll be at the training this weekend as a mentor and coach. Sheehan said recent laws are contributing to a wave of homophobia and transphobia. She believes it is important for LGBTQ plus people more than ever to have a seat at the table, as many anti-gay regulations are being passed at the state level. And there's so much national rhetoric against the LGBTQ plus community. This training is held in rotating cities throughout the country. Houston Mayor Annise and Virginia State Delegate Danica Roem are just a handful of program alumni. LGBTQ plus Victory Institute works to achieve and sustain equality through leadership, development, training, research, and convenings.
This is powerful.
Yeah.
This is powerful because we need our type sitting at the table. We need them on the inside.
That's right.
But it's important, and I think this is kudos to all 3 organizations, because so many people go out and try to run an election and they really don't know how to play the game, if you want to call it that, because everything is a game.
Yes.
And having them teach them, show them, mentor them is phenomenal. And having past alumni rejoin and pass along their knowledge, this is the way they can potentially win an election, by getting their message correct. Speaking to the broader community in a way that they don't get caught misstating something that could be misrepresented. I think this is a fantastic a group of organizations that work for our equality, work for our, for the betterment of our community, and for all of our rights, LGBTQ, transgender, people of color. It's all packaged there for the weekend, and I think it's an amazing thing.
I want to echo what you're saying too, because I think a lot of times we have separate groups doing the same thing or duplicating efforts, right? And so kudos to all 3 organizations.
Collaboration.
Yes.
Collaboration works, and united we're stronger, right?
Absolutely.
And I will say I've been to trainings put on by Equality Florida. We talked about lobby days earlier, and they're just incredible. The work that they do, led by Nadine Smith, is just chef's kiss.
Yes.
Incredible.
One final thought. One of the things I really love about this is I've participated with all 3 of these organizations. I've been to the galas, I've contributed money, I've voiced support, we've done stories, all 3.
Yes.
Victory Fund and the Victory Institute is helping on a national level, and they're coming into Florida. Of course, Equality Florida is central to our advocacy for LGBT in Florida, and SAVE is our leader here in South Florida. But in all 3 instances, my eyes roll up in my head when I say, what is it we're going to do? And everyone says, vote. Get out and vote. I already know that. Right. I already know that.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to vote. And we need to do everything we can to get some of the mouth breathers in our community to get out and vote.
Agreed.
But the thing that I really like about this, because in addition to the collaboration, is that it is taking a substantive action to say, wait, let's take this a step farther. To bring, Lexi may be interested in running for office. And if Lexi was interested in running for
You got
office,
my vote.
Yes, and mine too.
Oh.
But at the
Can I be your assistant?
At the very beginning, there are so many complicated issues to even for you to decide if you want to run for election rather, as a candidate, you have to have the assistance of the professionals, especially in our lane of LGBT, to even consider the possibilities.
Agreed. I would say too that one of the things that I came across in my experience of running a pride organization and PFLAG is that there are very specific skills that you need to deal with the press. Just that small little piece. And so if we can help train the people who are willing to step up, to win a campaign and provide them all of those skills, then that's exactly where we should be spending our energy.
I think one of the reasons this story is so important is that organizations like Equality Florida, like SAVE, even HRC on a national level, people always go, what are they doing? They're not doing anything. I don't see them doing anything. Why would I want to give them money? This shows right here, this story is important because we're letting people know what these organizations do, because they don't always do a great job of letting the general community know, or the general population know, what it is that they do and how they advocate. And this is a great way to say, you're supporting them because they're helping us get the people into office, and training them so that we have equal representation or fair representation at the table.
Empowering them.
I love the observation. And one other point that relates to that. We're talking about this. I can almost guarantee you, I'll put a $5 bill on the table. I can almost guarantee you, no one in Florida is talking about this. None of our LGBT media is talking
that's
about this.
what I'm saying. It's important.
The general media is not going to pick this up going, well, what's the big deal? Why should we talk about it? We focus on the salacious of the salacious of the salacious. That's what, unfortunately, a lot of major mainstream media does.
And the eyeballs.
The clicks. At the end of the day, that we're even reporting that Equality Florida and SAVE is doing this, I think is a victory for all of us. And I challenge everyone else in Florida, especially in our LGBT media, you should be reporting stories like this.
And so kudos to Happening on Network and for this show for doing that, because it's a learning even for us, who are more engaged and more involved, would not necessarily even recognize and know that this happened this weekend.
That's right. So, and shout out to Orlando too, who runs SAVE, right? He does a fantastic job with that organization. And I'm friends with him, as we all are, but I didn't know this was happening this weekend. So, that's one of the things that it goes back to what Al was saying. I mean, it needs to be reported on.
And our community
in a
needs
wider
to pick up
sense.
stories like this and share them.
That's right.
And help our community.
It gives you more pride in who we are. I mean, it's a lot of it.
Kudos to Victory Institute, Equality Florida, and SAVE for doing this. We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ+ evening news show, brought to you from Happening Out Television Network. We operate in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ+ community. We educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community, with more than 100,000 a week watching us on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the story going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.